Hello everybody and welcome to the first official Pokemon video on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be playing through Pokemon Diamond. However, there's a twist. Every single Pokemon in this game will be shiny. I hope you guys enjoy the video and let's jump straight into it. Alright, so to start this video off, I have 3 Pokemon to choose from this briefcase at the lake. I go ahead and pick Piplup, one of my favorite starter Pokemon of all time, before we head into this battle with a shiny Starly, which I then go ahead and send out my new starter Pokemon, Piplup. After using Pound a few times, I was finally able to take out this Starly. After leaving the lake, I talked to Dawn and Professor Rowan, who want to look at the Piplup I just got. I then make my way over to the Pokemon lab and I give a very original name to my Piplup, which was Bubbles. I then make my way to the next route and Dawn gives me some Pokeballs, which means that the Nuzlocke challenge has officially started. I head to the previous route where I get my first encounter of the game, which happens to be a level 2 shiny Starly. Using the Pokeballs Dawn gave me, I was able to catch Starly with no problem at all, and I added him to my team. I nicknamed him Star, another very creative name. I then made my way to the next route, the place where Dawn gave me Pokeballs, and I encountered a level 2 Bidoof. After lowering its HP, I was able to use another one of the Pokeballs Dawn gave me and eventually catch this Bidoof. And I named him what I named every Bidoof, Doofus. Now it was time for some trainer battles. This trainer had 2 Pokemon, both were Bidoof. Star was able to take out both of them very easily. It used Tackle to take out the first one. It learned the move Quick Attack, and it used that move to take out the second Bidoof. At the entrance of Jubilife City, I was met by Dawn, and shortly after that, I made my way towards the trainer school and I spoke to Barry. I get my third encounter north of Jubilife City, and it is a level 4 Bidoof. I tossed a Pokeball after lowering its HP by a little bit, and I was able to add this Bidoof to my team. I named it Mountain because it sounds like Mountain Dew. I then made my way towards the eastern side of Jubilife City, where I ran into Barry and he wanted to have a battle with me. Using Bubbles, I was able to take out Starly and defeat his Turtwig after using Tackle multiple times and a Bubble. In the cave, I got my 4th encounter, which was a Geodude. Like all the previous Pokemon, I tossed a Pokeball and I was able to catch it and add it to my team. I named him Dwayne, like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. In the southern part of Orberg City, I talked to the gym leader who showed me how to use Rock Smash. And it was time for my first gym battle. His first Pokemon was a Geodude, and Bubbles took it out using a Bubble. His second Pokemon was an Onix. His Onix missed the Screech, and Bubbles was able to use a Bubble once again to take out the Onix. His last Pokemon was a Gyarados, which is one of my favorite shiny Pokemon. After lowering his HP to the red, Bubbles was able to use one last bubble to take out the Gyarados. With that, I received my very first gym badge. It was time for another encounter, so I went north of Orberg City and found a Machop. After throwing multiple Pokeballs, I was able to catch this Machop and add it to the final slot in my party. Before leaving Orberg, I run into Barry and he mentions going to Eterna City. But before I'm able to do that, I run into two Galactic Grunts in Jubilife City, and together with Dawn, we both fight them. We were able to beat both Galactic Grunts using Star and Dawn's Chimchar. There were some trainers I had to battle before making my way to Floroma Town. This trainer had two Pokemon. The first Pokemon she had was a Badoo, and the second Pokemon she had was a Cherubi. Star was able to take both of them out using Wing Attack, which was super effective against both of them. Immediately after this battle, Starly evolved into Staravia, and shortly after, Piplup evolved as well. To the right of Floroma Town, I had to battle a Team Galactic member because if I didn't, he would not let me in the building. Star took out his Glameow with a quick attack. However, we were not able to enter the building because he did not have the key. So I went to the patch of grass directly outside the building and I found myself a shiny Shellos. I used one of the Pokeballs at the Pokemart that I bought prior to this encounter and I was able to catch the Shellos. In the northern part of Floroma Town, I was able to beat both Galactic Grunts and obtain the Works Key. I used that key to enter the building that the Grunt was standing outside of and met him on the inside. I had to battle some more Galactic Grunts before facing Commander Mars. Her strongest Pokemon was a Purugly, which I had quite a bit of trouble with. Her Purugly went for a feint attack, and luckily Bubbles was able to survive a crit. With him only having 2 HP, I went ahead and switched into Doofus, and unfortunately I had to let him die to a feint attack so that I would not lose Bubbles. I sent out Mountain so that I could heal Staravia, and unfortunately I lost another Pokemon, this time a Scratch from Purugly. With a wing attack from Star, I was finally able to beat Purugly and Commander Mars. Sadly, I had to go to the Pokemon Center and put Doofus and Mountain in the death box. And I added Jelly the Shellos to my team. I then made my way to Eterna Forest with Cheryl and got my encounter. I decided to choose the Wurmple to catch, mostly because I just liked its shiny better. After battling some trainers with Cheryl, we were able to make it to the end of Eterna Forest. And then made my way over to Eterna City, where I encountered Cynthia in front of a galactic building, before making my way to the Eterna City gym. I finally made my way to the gym leader, and it was time for our second gym battle. Her first Pokemon was a Cherubi, and Star was able to take it out with one wing attack. Her second Pokemon was a Turtwig. Star was able to take him out with another wing attack. This time it was a crit. Her final Pokemon was a Roserade. Her Roserade went for Magical Leaf, and even though that Star resisted it, he nearly died to a critical hit, but thankfully he was able to survive and used a wing attack to take out her final Pokemon. And I got my second gym badge. I then made my way to the next route and got an encounter. This time it was a Meditite. After using one Pokeball, I was able to catch it and add it to my team in replace of Wurmple. I used Cut in front of the Galactic Building, where I had to have a battle with Commander Jupiter on the top floor. Then my Meditite was able to take out her Zubat with no problem at all, using a super effective Confusion. Her second Pokemon was a Skuntank. And Star was able to finally take it out after multiple wing attacks. After defeating her, I made my way to the bicycle shop, and this man gave me a bicycle that I could use to get to the next route. Once I get there, I'm stopped by Dawn, who gives me a VS Seeker. With this being a new route, I go ahead and snag my next encounter, which happens to be a blue shiny Ponyta. Thankfully, I was able to catch this Ponyta and add him to my team in replace of Shellos. When passing through Mount Coronet, I am stopped by Cyrus, who gives me a short little speech. After talking to him, I leave Mount Coronet and arrive at Route 208, and I eventually make my way to Hearthome City. Since I cannot challenge Gym Leader yet, I have to go to the next route, but I'm stopped by Barry, who wants to have a battle. Star took out his Starly with one wing attack. His second Pokemon was this really cool yellow shiny Weasel. And Star was able to take him out as well with another wing attack. His third Pokemon was a blue shiny Ponyta, which he ended up withdrawing and sent out a Grottle. As a result, I had to switch back into Star and use a super effective move, which was Wing Attack, and took out his Grottle. For his final Pokemon, I switched back into Bubbles and used Bubble, taking out his Ponyta and defeating Barry. I went to the next route, which was Route 209. In the patch of grass at the beginning of the route, I went ahead and got my next encounter, which was a shiny Beedrill. Even though I had no intentions of using this Beedrill in this playthrough, I still went ahead and caught him, just in case I needed him. I arrived at Silesian Town after defeating all the trainers on the route, and I headed up north to get my next encounter, which was a Mime Jr. After tossing some more Pokeballs, I was able to catch Mime Jr. and I put him in the PC. Once I got to Route 215, it was time for my next encounter. And this time it was a Kricketune. It went for Bide, and I thought Dwayne would resist it, but he did not, and unfortunately we lost another Pokemon, this time to a wild Kricketune. Even though I was upset that Kricketune took away one of my party members, I still went ahead and caught it and added it to my team in replace of Dwayne. I was trying to refrain from including any trainer battles in this video, but this one was too significant for me to leave out. One of the trainers had a Kadabra, and it took out my newest party member, Jiminy the Kricketune. The Kadabra showed no mercy, using Confusion once again to take out Champ, my Machop. They only had one Pokemon left, which was Gyarados, and it used Thrash to take out Zen, my Meta-type. At last, Star was able to use Wing Attack, and I was able to take out the red Gyarados. With all their Pokemon fainting, I was able to win this double battle, but the damage was already done with me losing half my party. I deposited each Pokemon that I lost in the PC box before I spoke to Don in Veilstone City. I went inside the gym and challenged the gym leader. Her first Pokemon was a Meditite. Which star was able to land an Aerial Ace and take it out with a critical hit. Her second Pokemon was a Machop. Star took out the Machop after using multiple Aerial Aces. Her final Pokemon was one of my favorite shinies of all time, Shiny Lucario, and Pyro was able to take it out with a few Embers. After defeating all of her Pokemon, I received the Cobble Badge. As soon as I leave Veilstone Gym, I'm met by Dawn once again, and she needs help getting her Pokedex back. But before I did that, I went to Route 214 to get one more encounter before I battled the Galactic Grunts, and on this route I found a shiny Graveler. I was very fortunate not to lose Bubbles because Graveler went for a move that nearly killed him, but luckily he was able to survive and I was able to catch this Graveler using an Ultra Ball. Once I added Graveler to my party, I made my way to the northern part of Veilstone City, where I had to battle these two Galactic Grunts with Dawn. They both sent out Bug-type Pokemon, which were Dustox and Beautyfly. With the help of Dawn and Clefairy, we were able to take out both Team Galactic Grunts. I eventually arrived at Valor Lakefront. Yet again, it was time for another encounter, and this time I found a shiny Girafarig. After lowering its HP a little bit, I was able to toss some Ultra Balls and eventually catch this Pokemon. I went to Route 213, a new route, which means it was time to get another encounter. And this time I found a Weasel. Melman, our Girafarig, did some damage to him, and I tossed an Ultra Ball and was ultimately able to catch the Weasel. I made my way to the next city, which was Pastoria City, and went inside the gym to try and get my 4th gym badge. Inside the gym, I had to step on various different types of switches, raising and lowering the floor, and I eventually made my way to the gym leader. His first Pokemon was a shiny Gyarados. Star nearly died to one of his moves, but thankfully I had a Hyper Potion in my bag and was able to use that along with an Aerial Ace to take out this Gyarados. He then went into Floatzel. So I countered with the water type as well, using Fury Attack to eventually take out the Floatzel. His final Pokemon was a Quagsire, which I really like its shiny color. Knowing that Quagsire is a ground type, I went into my flying type Star and used Aerial Ace to take him out. And with that, I was able to defeat the 4th gym leader and get my gym badge. In Pastoria City, I talked to a Galactic Grunt who told me not to follow him. And as the good listener I am, I went ahead and followed him, but first I had a battle with Barry. For some reason he had a level 26 Starly that had not evolved yet, so I just went ahead and used Rock Blast with Wade, and I was able to take out the Starly with no problem at all. His next Pokemon was Buizel, so I wanted Melman to get a little bit of action, and I sent him in to use a Psybeam, and I was able to take out this Buizel as well. His third Pokemon was Turtwig's Evolution, Grottle. And Pyro was able to one-shot him thanks to a critical hit. His last Pokemon was a Ponyta. And I switched into Bubbles and used Bubble Beam, where I was able to defeat Ponyta and his trainer Barry. I followed the Galactic Grunt up the Valor Lakefront, and he wanted to have a quick battle, which I was able to win pretty easily using Wade. When walking towards the lake, I was stopped by Cynthia, and she gave me a secret potion. I then went to Slacian Town and used this secret potion to clear away the Psyducks, and made my way to Celestic Town. In front of the ruins in the city, there was another Galactic Grunt who challenged me to battle, and Melman was able to defeat him. Buizel was holding the experience share and gained a level during this battle, where he evolved into Floatzel. I went inside the ruins and was given the HM Surf. When leaving the ruins, I was given another quick speech from Cyrus. And now it was time to take on the 5th gym leader, which was located in Hearthloom City, so I used Star to fly back there. In this gym, I actually didn't fight any trainers at all. There were a series of puzzles I had to complete. If you got the answer correct, you can move on to the next door. Once I got all of these puzzles correct, I went and challenged Fantina, the 5th gym leader. The first Pokemon she sent out was a Drifblim. When Jet recently evolved, she learned Crunch, which was super effective against this Drifblim. Fantina sent out her next Pokemon, which was Miss Magius, where I got lucky and survived a magical leaf that critted me and took out her Miss Magius with an Aerial Ace. She then sent out her Gengar, and Wade was clutch, hitting with Rock Blast 5 times. After defeating her, I got my 5th gym badge. And I went to Route 218 where it was time to get my next encounter. I ended up finding a Wingull, where I tossed one of the few great balls I have and was able to catch it. I finally arrived at the next city, and Barry wanted to have another battle at the bridge. I'm not going to show this battle because it's relatively easy and he had similar Pokemon to last time. After defeating Barry, I went inside the gym. Once I made it to the top, I challenged him to a gym battle. His first Pokemon was a Bronzor, so I went ahead and sent in my Fire-type Pyro. The Bronzor fainted after I kept spamming Ember with Pyro. His next Pokemon was Steelix, so it only made sense that I went into a Water type. So I had Bubbles use Surf. His third and final Pokemon was a Gastrodon, so I stayed in with Bubbles and used Surf, which was super effective. With Gastrodon fainting, I collected my 6th gym badge. After getting my gym badge, I went to the library and talked to Rowan, Dawn, and Barry, where I was directed to go to each of the 3 different lakes. After a battle in the first lake, my Staravia evolved into Staraptor. I then went to the second lake and battled some more galactic grunts, before making my way towards the 3rd lake. To get to the 3rd lake, I had to travel through Mount Coronet and Route 216. With this being a new route, I got another encounter, and this time it was a Sneasel. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add the Sneasel to my team or not, but I still caught it anyway just in case I need it later. After traveling through some snow, I made my way to Route 217, and now it was time for my next encounter where I found a wild Snover. Similar to Sneasel, I didn't know if I wanted to catch the Snover or not, but I still did, figuring I might need him for Dragon-type Pokemon down the road. While traveling through the route, Bubbles evolved into an Empoleon. I finally made my way towards the next lakefront, which means that it was time for yet another encounter, and this time I found a wild Medicham. This one was very difficult to catch, but after several Ultra Balls, I was finally able to catch it and add it to my party. Before I could go to the lake, I had to go to Snow Point City and challenge the gym leader. Prior to entering the gym, I did some grinding and Pyro evolved into Rapidash. After leveling up all of my Pokemon, I went into Snow Point City Gym, where it was time for me to do all the puzzles and make my way up to Candace and challenge her to a battle. With most of her Pokemon being ice types, especially the Snover, I led off with Pyro, my Rapidash. She used Fire Blast and knocked out Snover. And Pyro used Fire Blast once again to take out Snover's evolution, Abomasnow. Candace's third Pokemon was a Sneasel. And like I did for her first two Pokemon, I used Fire Blast on her Sneasel. Her fourth and final Pokemon was Medicham, which is not an Ice type, but it still has an Ice type move. Fortunately, Star didn't get hit by one, and he landed a fly on the Medicham. With all of her Pokemon being defeated, I obtained my 7th gym badge. Now that I've defeated the gym leader, I was able to enter the lake, and I found Barry talking to Jupiter. They mentioned how there was something going on in Veilstone City, so I took Staraptor and flew on over there. I picked up the storage key in front of the Galactic Building and used it to open a locked door. I then found the Galactic Key and used it to get to Cyrus. The first Pokemon he sent out was a Murkrow. So I had Star use Fly, which was able to take him out in just one hit. His second Pokemon was Sneasel. So it only made sense that I had Pyro use Fire Blast. His final Pokemon was Golbat, so I switched into Abomasnow. He landed Ice Shard a couple of times, and I was able to defeat Cyrus. As a reward for winning the battle, he gave me a Master Ball. I then made my way to the lab with Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf and pressed the button to set them free. It was now time to go back to Mount Coronet, where I had to climb up some stairs, go through some caves, and use Rock Climb multiple times before I ultimately make my way to the top. At Spear Pillar, there was this cool animation with Dialga. However, before I could have a chance to catch him, I had to battle Cyrus once again. The first Pokemon he sent out was a Honchkrow, but he ended up switching over to Gyarados. I tried to counter this move by switching into a Water-type Pokemon, however, the Gyarados went for Giga Impact and it killed Jet. With Jet no longer being in the party, I switched over to Star and used Fly, where he was able to finish off the Gyarados. Cyrus then went into Weavile, so I switched to Miko, and luckily I was able to land a high jump kick, and for some reason during this part of the battle, my game decided to slow down, and I honestly thought it was kind of funny. With that out of the way, Cyrus went back to his Honchkrow. Where Star was able to land a Fly and take him out. His final Pokemon was a Crobat. And for some reason I forgot that Poison was super effective against him, and unfortunately I lost Abomasnow. Whenever things go wrong, I go into my most reliable Pokemon, which has been Star, and he uses a Fly, and we were finally able to defeat his Crobat. After my final battle with Cyrus, it was now time to encounter Dialga. Using the Master Ball Cyrus gave me, I was able to catch the legendary Pokemon Dialga. After capturing Dialga, I made my way back towards Pastoria City and through Valor Lakefront before arriving at Route 222. In this route, I got my next encounter, which happened to be a shiny Chatot. After damaging it with my new shiny Dialga named Tony, I threw an Ultra Ball and caught the Chatot. I then made my way to Sunny Shore City, where I was stopped by Flint, one of the Elite Four members. He said I needed to go to the lighthouse before I could challenge the gym leader, and that's just what I did. After doing that, I was now able to enter the gym. I navigated my way through it and met up with the final gym leader. The first Pokemon he sent out was a Raichu. I had Tony use Dragon Claw several times, and he was finally able to defeat the Raichu. The second Pokemon he sent out was an Octillery. So I stuck with Tony and used Roar of Time. The third Pokemon on his team was a Luxray. And I decided to use Roar of Time once again. The final Pokemon on his team was an Ambipom. I stuck with Tony throughout the whole battle, using Ancient Power to wipe out his final Pokemon. And with that, I beat the 8th and last gym leader. Before surfing toward Victory Road, I was stopped by Jasmine and she gave me the HM waterfall. Using Surf, I went ahead and got my next encounter, which happened to be a shiny Tentacle. After throwing some Ultra Balls, I was able to catch him, nicknamed him Jelly Beans, and replaced him with Chatot on my team. After defeating all of the trainers on this route, I used the HM Jasmine gave me to climb up this waterfall. In Victory Road, I had to use Strength to move some boulders around. I had to use Rock Climb several times. Go up some waterfalls. And eventually make my way across this bridge and exit Victory Road. To get to the Pokemon League, I had to use Waterfall one last time. When entering the building, I made sure to rest and heal up my Pokemon. However, before I was able to take on the Elite Four, it was time to have my final battle with Barry. The first Pokemon he had was a Staraptor, so I went into mine and used Fly to take him out. His next Pokemon was a Floatzel, and I was able to defeat him after using several Dragon Claws. His third Pokemon was a Heracross, so I stuck with Star and used Fly to knock out his Heracross. His fourth Pokemon was Rapidash, so I went into Bubbles and used Surf. His fifth Pokemon was Torterra, so I switched into Star and used Fly. The final Pokemon on his team was a Snorlax, so I switched into my fighting type Miko. Miko used Force Palm, and thanks to a critical hit, I was able to take out his last Pokemon, defeating Barry once and for all. After healing my Pokemon, it was now time to challenge the first Elite Four member, who exclusively has Bug-type Pokemon. The first Pokemon he sent out was a Dustox. Knowing that Bug is weak to fire, I had Pyro use Ember. He then sent out a Vespiquen. I did not know that any of his Pokemon had Rock-type moves, but fortunately, Pyro was able to survive, and she finished off this Vespiquen with an Ember. His third Pokemon was a Heracross, which I just battled against with Berry. So I used the same strategy that worked for me last time, and I went for a Fly with Star. His fourth Pokemon was a Drapion, which was probably the Pokemon that gave me the most trouble during this battle. But thanks to Tony, I was able to defeat him. The final Pokemon he sent in was a Beautifly. And like you might have guessed, I went for Fly with Star and took out his final Pokemon. After defeating him, I made my way towards the second Elite Four member, which was Bertha. The Pokemon she led off with was a Quagsire. I didn't know which Pokemon to use for this battle, but I decided to go with Miko and used Rock Smash. She sent out Sudowoodo, so I went with Jelly Beans, the Tentacle. I nearly lost Jelly Beans to a Sucker Punch from Sudowoodo, but thankfully she was able to survive and use a Water Pulse. Her next Pokemon was a Hippowdon, so I went into Bubbles. I had a much easier time with this battle, where I only had to use Surf a couple of times. Her fourth Pokemon was Golem, a Rock-type Pokemon, so I did the same thing that I did to Hippowdon, and had Bubbles use Surf. The final Pokemon on our team was a Whiscash, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And after a series of moves, Bubbles was able to eliminate Whiscash with a Waterfall. After defeating Bertha, I made my way towards Flint, the Fire-type member of the Elite Four. The first Pokemon he sent out was a Rapidash, so I went with Bubbles. Bubbles delivered a one-hit knockout to this Rapidash by using Surf. The next Pokemon he sent out was a level 61 Infernape, which was pretty scary. However, Star came in clutch like always and used Brave Bird to take out the Infernape with only one hit. The third Pokemon he sent out was a Steelix, even though he's not a fire type. As he's done so many times already, Bubbles used Surf and took out yet another Pokemon. Flint sent out another non-fire type, this time being Lopunny. With it being a normal type, I went to Miko and used High Jump Kick. The final Pokemon on his team was a Drifblim. Tony came up big for me, delivering multiple Dragon Claws, taking out the Drifblim. Once I defeated Flint, I taught Dialga Shadow Claw to prepare myself for the next Elite Four member before ultimately challenging him. He led off with a Mr. Mime. Taking out his Mr. Mime was a breeze. Using the Shadow Claw, I taught Tony. His second Pokemon was a Medicham. And I had Star use Aerial Ace and Fly. The next Pokemon he sent out was an Alakazam. Where similar to Mr. Mime, I used Shadow Claw with Tony multiple times. The fourth Pokemon he sent out was a Bronzong. I thought I was being smart by going into a Fire-type Pokemon. However, the Bronzong knew Earthquake and it killed Pyro. Not having many other options, I went into Miko and used High Jump Kick, where I was lucky to get a critical hit. His final Pokemon was a Girafarig, which gave me some flashbacks to when I had Melman. Tony took out his Girafarig with an Ancient Power, which meant I officially beat the Elite Four. It was now the moment you've all been waiting for, a battle with Sinnoh League champion, Cynthia. The first Pokemon she went out with was this beautiful Spiritomb, where I went out with Tony. I went for Ancient Power to try and get the stat boost, which is exactly what happened. And to my surprise, Cynthia withdrew Spiritomb and sent out Lucario. Even though Lucario resists Roar of Time, Tony managed to land a critical hit, defeating Lucario. She then sent out her signature Pokemon, Garchomp. Even though her Garchomp was 11 levels above Tony, he was able to use Dragon Claw and take it out. The next Pokemon she sent out was a Gastrodon. She used Sludge Bomb and Poison Miko, cutting her HP to about half where it normally is. I decided to take a risk and use High Jump Kick, and thankfully it paid off for me, with Miko defeating Gastrodon. Cynthia's next Pokemon was a Roserade. Where I used my MVP of this playthrough, Star, and had him use Fly. The next Pokemon she sent out was Milotic, so I went with Tony. After using some Dragon Claws to lower its HP, Tony used Roar of Time. At this point, Cynthia was down to her final Pokemon, which was Spiritomb. I want all of my Pokemon to take part in this battle, so I switched into Jelly Beans. I wanted Bubbles to take out the final Pokemon of this playthrough, so I had Jelly Beans use Barrier. However, I forgot that Psychic moves were super effective against her, and luckily she survived. I wanted to end this playthrough how I started it, so I switched back into Bubbles so he could use the final move. Bubbles used Waterfall and defeated Cynthia's last Pokemon, Spiritomb, officially making me the new champion of Sinnoh. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I'm going to go ahead and show the rest of the gameplay without commentary. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.